Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how we doing today? Y'all know that cousin or that family member that shows up to like one out of every like 10, 20 family event? That's kind of how I feel right now. But anyways, without further ado, welcome to the 12th installment of the Fourth Down Forum podcast. Now, I have had this layout out for a while, but I've had some stuff going on. Had some family movement down here, so been taking care of that. Been busy with work. We're gearing up for the holiday season. So if you work retail, which hey, I do, gonna be up for one heck of a treat. Anyways, let's get started. Talk about some news. First off, we're gonna cover some NFL. Um, Chase Claypool was traded to the Miami Dolphins. Miami, let's have a talk. Why? Why? You already have Tyreek Hill. You already have Jalen Waddle. You already have, granted, some of them are injured now, but you had, I believe his name's pronounced Devontae. You have Raheem Mozart. But the crazy thing about this is this Chase Claypool trade. Obviously, he wasn't going anywhere with the Bears. He was frustrated. Which, here's the thing: Chase Claypool, no matter where you put him, seems to always be frustrated. So get over yourself. One. Um, but yeah, here's the thing: not the Bears. Scratch that. The Dolphins are looking to primarily, potentially, only use him as a tight end. Moving on from that, Randy Gregory got traded to the 49ers. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he was with the Broncos. And then I have some Niners fans. There's this one in particular Niners fan who, every time a player is up for trade on Twitter, they'll be like, they'll send the GIF from Finding Nemo, right? And it will be the seagulls. They're like, moin, 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 moin. No, not yours. But in this case, yes, Frank Clark is yours. Congratulations, you got Frank Clark. And like I said, some of this is going to be older content because I had this episode planned before my family and stuff moved. I had family move down here, but other than that, Josh Norman. Josh Norman signed with the Bills. It's crazy if you think about it because Josh Norman's been around for a minute. If I'm not mistaken and I'm tracking correctly, he was with the Panthers, he was with the Commanders when they were known as either the football team or the Redskins. It was one of the two. And he was with some other teams. But now he's part of Bill's Mafia, apparently. Unless something broke within the past couple of hours that I haven't came across, uh, I don't know if this man can still go, to be honest with you. I don't. So we shall see how that goes. Be interesting to see. That's a fairly competitive matchup outside of. Nope, wait, I'm thinking of the wrong division. That is a fairly competitive match division. You got the Dolphins, who were on a steamroll right now. They are 5-1 at the time of this recording. You got the Patriots aren't really doing too much, but the Jets are kind of hanging around. A lot of people thought they weren't going to be hanging around after Aaron Rodgers went down with that Achilles injury. Jonathan Taylor. There was all this hype, right? All this drama about Jonathan Taylor and the Indianapolis Colts getting a deal, not getting a deal, just for this man to go ahead and sign a 3-year, $80 million something dollar deal. So I guess all that whining and complaining was worth it. We'll see if Jonathan Taylor can still produce. You've seen the running back market right now. I know I have previously stated on this podcast to pay your damn running backs, and I stand by that. You should always pay your running backs. But we shall see if he's going to hold up. Now, let's get to the bread and butter, the name of this podcast. Former Falcons and Buccaneers wide receiver Julio Jones. signed to the Eagles practice squad. He was elevated last night at the time of this recording to the Eagles active roster. Now, here's my thoughts on this. This is reminiscent of another former Eagles, like, no, not former, bit rusty, forgive me. This is reminiscent of a former Eagles player from last year signing with the team. And I believe if y'all know me and know who I root for, you're going to know who I'm about to talk about. So this reminds me of the Deshaun Jackson signing from last year. Now, those of you unfamiliar or who have been living under a rock, Deshaun Jackson went on a podcast last year. So, for those of you in the NFL or who have aspiring NFL dreams, get on a podcast. I don't know, maybe the fourth down forum, and maybe something will happen. But that said, he went on a podcast, expressed his aspirations and desires to still play in the NFL level. And then, a few weeks later, he was signed to the Ravens practice squad. Then, he was elevated to the active roster for a couple of games. And this isn't anything new. We've seen it with former big-name wide receivers. Des Bryant played for the Ravens. For those of you who don't know, you may not, because it was during, it was like years ago that happened. But it happened. But honestly, I was talking with my one of my coworkers who's an Eagles fan. I don't know how he feels about it. He may comment down in the comments below about how he feels about it. We were talking with our boss, and our boss said he would take Deshaun Jackson over Julio Jones. And honestly, I don't know if I'd agree with that. But Julio Jones has showed some wear and tear on his body. But that said, let's talk about some stuff that we're gonna have coming up on the podcast. So I have the layouts for like this episode and 2 more episodes. So after this episode, we are going to do the NFL trade deadline episode. That's going to be where we'll recap like who's been traded already, what names we're expecting to be traded, who we'd like to see go where. And then the episode after that is going to be the NBA season preview. It's going to be one of the specials. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the channel or new to the channel, when I was hosting the What a Play podcast with my boy Jalen, we would always have specials, like certain things would be specials. The NBA season opener, the NFL season opener, those are specials. Mock drafts come April, free agency recap come March. I know that's a bit out of order, but those will all be specials on the channel because it's something different that we're covering. It's not just me sitting in front of you talking. It's not just me sitting in front of you talking about, oh, this is what happened. But yeah, moving on, we're going to talk a bit about basketball, but it's not going to be in terms of NBA, but it kind of is, if that makes sense. So, the fashion brand known as Reebok happened to sign 2, in my opinion, of the NBA's best to be their president and their vice president of the company, if I'm not mistaken. So, Shaquille O'Neal, one of my favorite Lakers of all time. For those of you who don't know, I'm a Lakers fan. I mean, if it isn't obvious, I got the Kobe plaque right there. I'm literally staring at Kobe stuff right now that's on my mantle. But yes, Shaq signed as the VP, and Allen Iverson, the answer, signed as the vice president. Personally, I think this is a great move for the company. You know, there are those other brands out there. There's Nike, of course, that's going to dominate the market. They've been dominating the market for years. There's Adidas, who competes or tries to compete at least with Nike. And Reebok for the longest time. Like, yes, Allen Iverson was already signed to them as a spokesperson and a brand representative because he has his own line of shoes with them. Shaquille O'Neal has his own line of shoes well. I don't know if that was ever under the Reebok umbrella, but I would imagine now they would probably be under that umbrella. The first move that Shaquille O'Neal and Allen Iverson made as this brand's VP and president was to sign Angel Reese, and I think that is a great move for them. I'm expecting big things from them. I'm expecting them to come out with some dope ass colorways, and I'm excited to see what the future holds for Reebok. For those of you who don't know, Reebok actually used to be the most people. This is common knowledge, but for those who aren't following sports like that or want to learn more, Reebok actually used to have the license for NFL jerseys and merchandise. Then I want to say in 2012, Nike got that contract, and they've had that contract ever since. Personally, I like the Nike. No, sorry, I like the Reebok mesh jerseys better than the Nike ones. They're a lot more breathable. They're a lot more comfortable, and me being a big dude, um, yeah, it's just easier to wear. Whereas the Nike ones, they're kind of more clingy to the body. Um, if it's hot, like if you live in one of these southern states and it's hot, you're just not going to be comfortable. You're not going to have a good time. But yeah, excited to see what happens. And if I'm not mistaken, Angel Reese, I'm going to have to look that up, but I believe she goes to LSU, if I'm not mistaken. So, like I said, excited to see what's coming up on that end. And then, this one I'm excited about. The wrestling promotion known as Impact Wrestling is going back to their roots and rebranding or reverting, shall I say, as Impact Wrestling. For those of you who don't know, Impact Wrestling, before there was AEW, before all that, Impact Wrestling was WWE's primary competition. Like prime 2005 to 2009 TNA, maybe even further. I put that up there right with WWE because they had guys like Kurt Angle, Sting, Booker T, and then they had their own homegrown talent like AJ Styles, who obviously he's in the WWE now, um, but they still have a hell of a roster over there, you know. And honestly, they've been through some BS, to be honest. They went through changing TNA from TNA to Impact Wrestling. There was the years where they were known as Global Force Wrestling, which honestly felt like a damn fever dream. But it's exciting to see this new direction that TNA is going in. Obviously, they have the women's champion over there, Trinity, who is formerly known as Naomi. They have Mickey James, I believe, who came out of retirement and is wrestling for them. They have I'm not too familiar with TNA's roster, and forgive me for that. But that said, this is going to spark my interest into watching TNA's product again, and I would imagine it would spark a lot of interest for everybody else. So, yeah, I'm excited about it. Y'all should be excited about it. We can talk about baseball to wrap things up. I know I said wrestling was going to be the last thing, but I like to tap these out at like the 20, 25-minute mark. Um, Obviously, I'm an Orioles fan. They got swept by the Rangers at the time of this recording. I believe the Rangers were facing the Astros. The Astros are actually putting up a fight and coming back. So hopefully, hopefully, and yes, this is me being an Orioles fan, hopefully the Astros win this last game and they go instead of the Rangers. Because I don't have no personal beef with the Rangers, but if my team doesn't get to go, your team sure as hell doesn't get to go. And on the other end of the series, on the other side, the Phillies are facing the Diamondbacks, and I believe that series, the last time I checked, was 2-2. But it's looking like for the World Series, we might get an Astros Phillies rematch. And if that happens, maybe, because remember when I was doing the What a Play podcast, we didn't cover baseball a lot. That's something I want to get back into. I want to get back into the grind of pumping out content, growing the channel. I believe we're sitting at like 169 subscribers right now. I would love to get that number up to a lot higher number. I would love to get it up to 200, maybe before the new year starts, if that's possible. I want to do this giveaway. I want to grow the channel. I want to start getting people on the channel. I want to, this is what I want to do, like full time, and I would love to get paid for it. Like, this is something that is passionate to me. And I do have spells where I'm like, oh, well, let me focus on other stuff. But no, if this is what I want to do, I need to get back into the grind. I can't keep leaving the channel alone like I did with the previous channel. And that's on me, so I do apologize for that. Other than that, let's see, what else has been happening in the world of sports? Oh, it's NFL Sunday, so there's a slate of games on today. If I had my laptop in front of me, I would tell you who I'd be picking. Obviously, I'm a Ravens fan. The Ravens play the Lions today. To this date, that is probably the most, the best opponent we've played so far, offensively and defensively, in my opinion. The best all around. Um, I do want to say congratulations to Terrell Suggs on going into our Ring of Honor today. Hell of a career sizzle. Loved watching you play when I was growing up, and look forward to that, and look forward to your next step in Canton. For those of you who are unfamiliar, Canton is the Hall of Fame, the NFL Hall of Fame, if I'm not mistaken. And the Ravens already have a slew of guys in there. They have Ray Lewis, first Ravens pick in franchise history, Jonathan Ogden, and they have Ed Reed. Now, I have told people on record the next two people that I think will get into the Hall of Fame for the Ravens is going to probably be Terrell Suggs and Marshall Yanda. A lot of people on Twitter yesterday were saying Terrell Suggs isn't a first ballot Hall of Famer. I think looking at all his accolades and all his accomplishments, that he is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Obviously, there's a little bit of bias there. Let me know down below in the comments what you think. And yeah, other than that, I don't really have much else to say. Thank y'all for sticking with me. I appreciate it. What else do we have? Oh, when Survivor Series comes up, because I did say I wanted to start covering wrestling. I've been seeing rumors that a certain guy who hears voices may be making his return, and there's also been rumors that a certain one Mr. Phil Brooks may be making an appearance at Survivor Series. It is in his hometown of Chicago. Obviously, WWE and CM Punk way back in 2014 had a falling out. CM Punk went to AEW. That didn't work out. So WWE is always about that it factor, grabbing the shock value. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see that happen. Other than that, my PSA is watch Loki on Disney Plus. I have not started Loki. I started episode 1, and I know we're on episode 3 now. But yeah. Also, if sorry y'all, my brain just froze. But other than that, thank y'all for all the love and support. I appreciate it greatly, and I will be tapping in with y'all soon for episode 13.